we'll get some business. And the holy grail for renewable electricity is, how do you store surplus energy which is generated when the wind is blowing or the sun is shining, but you don't need it then? You want it later when the wind isn't blowing or the sun not shining. Simon Jack can explain more.
Yes, Evan. Electricity, incredibly difficult to store, but one company may have an interesting solution. The team at Highview Power Storage has developed a system which uses surplus electricity to supercool air, turning it into a liquid which is at minus 196 degrees. So what? Let's ask Gareth Brett, the company's chief executive. So you supercool the air, then what?
Well, we supercool the air, it turns into a liquid. We put that into a large tank. When you want the energy back, you pump that liquid air to high pressure, add the ambient heat back, it turns it into high pressure gas, which you can expand in a turbine, which can generate electricity.
Okay, so it's almost like a steam engine in a way. You supercool the air, and then as it expands, as it heats up, it then drives a turbine, just as if you like a steam engine would.
It is a little bit like a steam engine or a steam power station. It's actually a Rankine cycle, but we're using air as the working fluid and not water and steam.
Now, I don't know much about physics or chemistry, but it seems to me that the energy you use to supercool air down to 196 degrees must be almost as much as you get when you switch it back the other way.
Well, it's a storage process and not a perpetual motion machine, so we get...
It's meant to be the same you get out as you put in, right? I mean,
Yeah.
So, well, we like all real life processes, we get less out than we put in.
How much less do you get?
Well, that depends on how we do the heating to turn the liquid air back into gas. If we use ambient heat at the right scale, it's 50 to 60% efficient, so we get a little bit over half of what we put in the first place. If we use waste heat from a power station, for example, we can get about 70% back.
Now, you've had some money from government, over £1 million. You've got some investors who've put money in. Is this commercially viable? What can you do with the technology right now?
Well, what we can do right now depends on which market you want to apply it in. So if we applied it in the UK market, where we've got relatively little deployment of intermittent renewables, it isn't a terribly valuable resource at the moment, but National Grid does pay for and procure services from reserve generators, which storage is quite good at fulfilling that role. So we can make money out of reserve. We can make money from buying cheap electricity when there's surplus at night, selling it at the
You've got a
peak.
plant at the moment. How many houses could that actually work? You'd store it up and it's ready to go. You've got a tank full of liquid air. How long will that last, and how many houses will it do?
Okay, so we have a working pilot plant out at Slough. It's 300 kilowatts and it has 2.5 megawatt hours of storage. That's 300 houses for 8 hours.
Quick final thought. The problem is that the energy landscape has changed completely with the discovery of shale gas, if you like. US will be almost energy independent in the next few years. They're working on big reserves in China. The whole, gas is much cheaper than it was. They're even fracking in Blackpool.
Yes.
You're up against it.
We are up against it. It's a competitive area. What I would say is in the US, that's one of the biggest markets for energy storage, and it's one of the biggest markets for shale gas.
Well, we wish you all the best. Gareth Brett
Thank you.
From Highview Power Storage. FTSE unchanged. Game Group, the retailer, shares up 40% as the lenders say they're going to come to the rescue of the company.
Thanks. Sorry, just one more question. If you're 50% without the power of a power station, the waste heat, what's a normal battery? How efficient is that?
That depends on the kind of battery. They range from about 60 to 80%.
So why wouldn't you just use batteries instead of buying a complicated thing like yours?
They're significantly more expensive, 2 to 3 times more expensive, and they wear out in a short period of time.
Right. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. 9 minutes to 9 now.